I just wanted to take a minute and talk tea with you this morning. I am out here with the Cameillia Sinensis plant, and that is the true source of tea. If you drink any of the 6 teas or any of the subdivisions of that tea, real true tea comes from this plant right here. This is the Cameillia Sinensis. And it's also known as the tea plant. You can see the little blooms there and the little tea berries that come after the bloom. But this is the Cameillia Sinensis. It's the one true source of tea. And of course the 6 divisions of tea that come from that, which is white, green, yellow, oolong, dark, and black teas, all come from this particular plant. And when this plant is harvested and how this plant is treated once it's harvested determines what kind of tea you get from this plant. But it's the Cameillia Sinensis, and that's the number 1 on the list of true teas. So that's going to give you an idea of what true tea is. Now there's another tea, and it's called herbal teas. You might be familiar with herbal teas. They are teas that are made from herbs, plants. They're made from flowers. They're made from roots, leaves, and different parts of plants. Those are called herbal teas. They're not true teas in the sense of that they come from an actual tea plant. They are actually water extractions, and they are made from pouring boiling water over leaves, roots, flowers to make a tea, what's referred to as a tea from herbal plants. Now, water extractions are one of the easiest ways to make a cup of the extraction from a plant that will help you in a certain area. They're not necessarily drink for pleasure. They can be very delicious. But in general, most herbal extractions, or most tea that's made from plants, roots, flowers of plants, they're actually made because there's some kind of beneficial components in that plant that the person that's making this cup of tea is seeking. For instance, ginger is excellent. Ginger's excellent tea for stomach problems or for warming. If you ever come outside from the cold and need something to warm you up, then drink a cup of ginger tea. That will warm you up from the inside out quickly. And then there's other benefits. It soothes the stomach, and that's just one example. There are many, many, many other herbs that carry wonderful properties, and there's books and books and books about them and their properties and their benefits. And so that's why most people drink herbal teas. Now, I heard a woman on TV say she tried herbal teas and they were the worst things that she's ever tasted, that it was hideous and she didn't ever want to drink them again. And I was thinking, what kind of tea did she drink? For God's sakes, what was it? But you may feel that way, just like one might feel when they eat a vegetable. It may not be very appetizing in the beginning because, if you take a plant and you just chop it up, whether it's dried or whether it's fresh, and you pour boiling water over it and let it steep, it's going to taste just like that plant. Probably tastes vegetable, like a vegetable taste, a grassy, weedy, musky taste even maybe. And what's going to happen with that is it may not have a pleasing flavor. Calendula flower is beautiful. Lavender is beautiful. Some people would think it would taste delicious to make a tea with calendula or lavender, and then some people would not. But you just have to assess that for yourself for whatever properties you might need. Be it ginger for a stomach issue, or because you need to be warmed up, or any kind of plant that just in general is delicious. probably people that take teas know why they're taking them and for what reason. They're either going to look for some beneficial compounds from that tea that they think will relieve them. For example, if you have a sore throat, a mint tea is wonderful for a sore throat. This is some mint I harvested this morning just to have on hand for such a time of that. This is sage, and this is lemon balm. You know, each one of these plants carries some beneficial compound for some issue. If you've ever had a sore throat, just say maybe from allergies, maybe from coughing, or an irritant of some sort, or, you know, occasionally we just have sore throats. Try mint and lemon tea. That will relieve your throat in a wonderful way. And lemon has vitamin C, so that'll add some vitamin C to a time when you might need it. Mint is also good for other things. It's a cooling plant, and it can be a delicious water extraction whenever you're make a delicious water extraction whenever you're in need. Now you can do things to make your tea better. I've put my plants and teas inside this infuser, and I poured my boiling water over it, and now I'm left with my cup of tea here that I need to add a few things to it just to make it taste better. Now let's say you've done your research and you know all about the tea that you made here. I've got some lemon balm in here, a lemon balm tea, and then just a pumpkin spice tea that I picked up that I thought would be delicious. Now I'm going to add some honey. This is a raw multifloral manuka honey. I'm just going to add this morning, and I'm adding a generous teaspoon of this honey. That's going to make this taste better because the honey will make it sweet and delicious, and it'll make it easier for me to drink. I made a video on 5 things that you can do to make your teas taste better. I've added some manuka honey to this. There's stevia. This is French vanilla. A few drops of stevia, plain or flavored, will make your tea taste better. Here's a pure orange extract. Here's a lemon extract. I like to put a few drops of lemon extract in the tea because I love the way that it tastes. Now my tea should be delicious. I can up it one by adding a little bit of candy, which would add sweetness and flavor. You can even put candy sticks in it. That'll make it much more enjoyable. You can put maple syrup, or different ways you can flavor your tea so that it'll have a much better flavor than just a plain cup of vegetable water extraction. You know, dried leaf water extraction, because if you take these dried leaves, they're going to have their own characteristics and flavors that come with each plant, but they're probably not going to taste like something you're used to drinking. Definitely not like a soda or anything like that. But drinking tea like this is one of the most it's the easiest way to extract components from plants that you might need to treat or help you in some kind of medical issue. Say you have a UTI and you harvest goldenrod. Goldenrod is a well-known, plentiful plant that grows most everywhere, easy to access and to dry. So here's the beautiful goldenrod. I harvested this and I've got it drying here on my herbal rack, along with some passion flower and some more goldenrod. Here's my little herb drying rack. And if you do research, it is not hard to find information. It's the easiest it's ever been to find information on plants and their herbal components and what they do for you. The internet, there's wonderful books, all kinds of herbal books. You know, this one right here is actually a medical herbal book, and it really gives it to you broke down and is easy to understand when it comes to herbs as far as how they affect you and what they do. You can research any kind of herb and the effects and the qualities that may make you want to ingest that herbal water extraction. And sometimes there are some herbs, such as the turkey tail mushroom and other things, where you have to boil. I think wild lettuce you have to boil to get the effects out of that herb. So there's some things that have to be decocted. That's called a deconcoction, when you have to boil or low simmer it to get the benefits from the herb. But there's many good reasons that you might want to try a decoction or a water infusion. It's not necessarily for taste, though taste is important to some people. Most people cannot drink anything that they don't love the taste of. You know, it's an acquired taste. These are plants with benefits, wonderful beneficial compounds. And to get those, you have to extract them. And to get these, one of the easiest ways to do that is to drink them. So herbal infusions are usually to support, to increase some wonderful, like an immune system that's already in your body, and it's to add trace minerals and different things that sometimes is hard to get through other foods. It's a wonderful source to enhance your diet intake as a supplement, or to treat or ease the irritations from just common things, common ailments. Now, I'm not a medical doctor. I drink teas. If you've watched my show, you know I'm a tea drinker. I love real tea from the Cameillia Sinensis, and I also love herbal and water extractions and some concoctions. I do love to drink tea. I don't think that it tastes bad, but I do think it's an acquired taste. Now, I didn't always just want to drink a bunch of tea. It took me a while to drink teas, and I think a good one to start out with is chamomile. If you're wanting to try tea, chamomile will help you to sleep. It's a good relaxing herb that you can make a water extraction from and drink right before bed, and it will help you sleep. And mint I've already mentioned, great throat reliever if you just have a dry throat, irritated throat from simple things. You know, if you have a sore throat for more than 3 days, you should contact a medical professional. But tea can really ease your throat even after you go to the doctor and find out what is wrong with you. It will ease you to drink peppermint tea and other teas if you're not allergic to it. Lemon balm, which is in the mint family. This is sage here. I love sage tea, and I love to cook with sage. But there are many benefits from the water extractions from the teas. So they're plants with benefits. Only you know your circumstances. Herbs are strong. They are very, very strong. They are the first medicines that mankind ever had. That's herbal remedies. Well, if you have a condition, you may want to research whatever herbs you ingest, because you want to be careful about how it interacts with medicines, the medications you might be taking, and only you know your circumstances. Only you know the medicine and your situation. So your allergies, you gotta take into consideration all those things that make up your health. So you want to research whatever you drink. I don't have many allergies. I don't have many things to really worry about. But you know, allergies can develop at any stage. So you want to be careful. I drink a lot of things that there's not a lot of known allergies to. It's like goldenrod. There's not a lot of known allergies to goldenrod. So most people can drink goldenrod, and it's an antibacterial, it's an antiviral, wonderful plant. So that's one to consider. Goldenrod would be a beginning plant that you might want to have on hand. Do some research to find out. Of course, everybody knows about lavender, and everybody knows about, certain herbs that you see in the news a lot. You know, in the information that's out here, you'll see certain herbs that are more popular than others. But weigh out what would benefit you. Do some research on some herbs and see if that's something that you like. And if you tried an herbal tea and it was not good, if it was not a good tea for you, then you might want to try something different. There's many, many other ones. Don't give up on all of them just because you didn't like the taste of one of them. I simply wanted to share with you these tips to help you, encourage you to try different teas. If you've tried it once and it was hideous, there are wonderful berry teas, wonderful flower teas, and of course root teas. Dandelion root, to me, has a very bitter taste. That would be a hard one to drink without some kind of something to help it taste a little better. But the benefits of a dandelion root is so awesome. That's one water extraction or tea that you would want to try, and just research and find out all the wonderful benefits of that. I try to share things with you as I harvest them. I try to share them with you as I go, just to let you know what I do, what helps me, might help you. I forage for a lot of that tea is really good with the honey and the lemon extract. It's really good. But I forage on my channel sometimes. I try to include those in reality as I do them, and show you where I get them, how I harvest them, and what we do with them when we get them. Donald and I both, he's a great forager. He often helps me with that, and we forage, and we have some really wonderful herbs and things in our apothecary and our tea cabinet. You've probably heard about my tea cabinet. If you've watched my channel, I've shared that with you many times. It is a delicious cabinet for me. I love it. I just love to open my tea cabinet and all the smells come out. Now this is where the teapot will go back when I put it back, but I have different teas. This is chamomile. To me, I think chamomile, even without anything added to it, has kind of a sweet flavor compared to a lot of other teas. And then I have all the herbs and teas that I've harvested that I've got stored in plastic bags so that I have room to store them in here. Many different kinds of tea in my tea cabinet and many different accessories. If you've got a friend that loves tea, then you know what to buy every Christmas and birthday, and I love receiving it. I've got different containers that I use to steep the tea in, and just different kind of diffusers or infusers. So these would be infusers that I have on hand to infuse the teas. I've shared these with you before. I love black tea. I love black tea in the morning, and I, in general, love a lot of tea. I hope this in some way encourages you to try tea, to try a herbal infusion. And if you tried it and it's the worst thing in your life that you ever tried, try some different flavors. There's some wonderful, wonderful berry teas and floral teas that are delicious. And I would start with some of those easy things that don't taste really strong, but it's really an acquired taste, just like vegetables. If you were to cook green beans and not add any salt or any seasoning to them, and you just drank the water from the green beans, or just ate a green bean without any kind of seasoning or salt, it would be pretty hard to swallow. It'd be pretty plain and vegetable tasting, vegetation taste to it. You would, you cook that and you add salt and you add seasoning to that to make those green beans delicious and palatable. Tea is about the same way. You just have to find that place of what you like. Raspberry teas, blackberry teas. I mean, there's some wonderful, delicious teas, apple teas, orange mint. Try some of those flavors that are on the better tasting side, and then venture out into the dandelions and the echinacea and the teas that taste like dried weeds. They are dried vegetation and they taste like that, but you will acquire a taste for them once you understand the benefits that are coming to you from those plants, and just realize that you can add a few things that'll make it more delicious, and then drinking them you'll acquire a taste for something that's really, really good for your body. Thank you for letting me share this with you today. It was a pleasure. I hope it helped you in some way. I hope it helps you to want to drink teas more often. That'll be beneficial for you in different ways. Thanks for letting me share it with you. And always, until next time.